Hello and a heartily welcome. When someone asks you, "Who are you?" do you have a very clear answer? As a child, you were probably often asked, "What do you want to be?" And of course, the answer came spontaneously. "I want to be a train driver. I want to be an astronaut." The ideas were numerous and really convincing. As a child, you probably didn't have any problems living out this fantasy either. So in the morning you were out and about and flying galaxies. There were snails and twigs to eat as a wondrous delicacy for lunch. And in the afternoon you went to the North Pole with your talking locomotive. Your imagination had no limits. Today, our wishes are a little simpler. I want to stay healthy. Many people probably have this wish. But what is actually behind this simple wish, and what is health anyway? I would like to pursue this exciting question with you today. My name is Dominika, so let's get started. Health is an interesting commodity, and the way we look at health has changed dramatically in recent years. When our grandparents got sick and the doctor came with a serious diagnosis, it was only natural that they would agree to the doctor's treatment plan, even if it involved difficult surgery. All information about the disease, the diagnosis, the treatment was only available to the doctor. Your grandparents had confidence that the doctor was able to restore health and that the proposed measures would be necessary. It's different today. Most people go to the doctor because they have one of three problems. They are exposed to a certain type of stress. First, physical, bodily stress, e.g., your mobility is restricted. Secondly, chemical stress. This is triggered, for example, by environmental toxins or pesticides. And third, emotional and psychological stress. Well, these are particularly insidious as they affect the body on both a physical and chemical level. Solving these problems always requires an intervention at the same level. For example, the limitations of mobility, that's a physical limitation, therefore it's solved by a physical intervention. You go to the physiotherapist who shows you specific exercises that restore your mobility. It's the same when you break your arm. In the case of chemical problems, the solution is also handled chemically. You are prescribed a pill which you then take, and then hopefully the problem is solved. Now, the third category is difficult because in today's world, we don't like to talk about emotions, but they burden us to an ever greater extent. They create stress of all kinds. We have forgotten what emotions are for us. Emotions are a warning sign that something is going differently than we are used to or know. The body signals danger, tells us to be alert. We can simply perceive this information and let it be there, or we can become entangled in a web of repetitive thoughts, emotions, feelings that make us chronically ill in the long term. Then, for example, fear becomes a problem and we get panic attacks. I would like to state that most people go to the doctor because of an emotional problem or stress. But these are mainly trained in physical and chemical problem solving. For example, they will try to eliminate the problem with a physical measure or a pill, but only symptoms are cured, as the actual problem lies much deeper. Certainly, exercise, a physical measure, is helpful in managing emotional stress, or diet, another chemical measure, can also help manage it. But they are often not deep enough. Many people have not learned that emotional distress also needs treatment. And that's a really interesting point because we live in the information age. This means that a lot of information is freely available. You just have to search and you may come across alternatives that are more compatible with your ideas of health and life. You can act independently, and that's important. Indeed, many of the diseases we face today are of a chronic nature, and chronic problems are difficult to resolve with an operation. They need life-changing measures, so-called lifestyle changes. In order to make room for these changes in your life, certain conditions must be met. Well, first of all, it is necessary to understand that you need to change your mindset. You have to take over the steering wheel and show responsibility, because only you can actively change something in your life. You can choose how your life should look like. Emotions are the end product of past experiences. You can remember events better because they are connected to emotions, and because you know how you felt at that moment in time. These emotions trigger chemical reactions. So every time you recall this memory, you also feel like you did when you experienced it. So you get up in the morning, think the same thoughts, the same emotions come up, and your body feels the same. What's going to change? Nothing. No amount of physical or chemical intervention can prevent you from being trapped by the same emotional or psychological stress. You are attached to the past because of your thoughts, emotions, feelings, and your chemistry. How is that supposed to change? Well, each person thinks about 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same. So it makes perfect sense that if you think the same, feel the same, and have the same chemical reactions going on in your body, that you're making the same choices every day. The same decisions mean you react the same way. So you have the same experiences over and over again, which again lead to the same feelings and thoughts. If you want to break out of this cycle, then you need to have new thoughts. These new thoughts lead to new decisions and therefore trigger new actions and therefore new experiences. As a result, you have new thoughts again. So that's the change you have to do. You have to become a new person. Interestingly, this person no longer has anything in common with the emotional or psychological stress of that old person. So this illness just has to go away. So my question is, who do you want to be? Be very specific. Yeah, think it through. Color it in many ways that you can do. Yeah, so that you become this new person, that you have new thoughts, and these new thoughts lead to new decisions, new experiences. That's how it works. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video today. If so, then please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, any ideas, I would love to hear from you so that we get in contact and share our thinking, our feeling about that. And otherwise, I see you next week again. Okay? Bye-bye.